Well, looks like Hero Academia is having more problems yet again. And it's not what you think. It's not chess sizes or tickles. It's a character name. Yeah, that's right. A character name. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today. And if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So Hero Academia is apparently having a problem because of a character name now. So One Angry Gamer has a article on this, and this is what the title is. My Hero Academia to change Maruta Shiga's name following complaints from SJWs. So apparently, this doctor, which he is All for One's doctor, so he is the villain's doctor, right, of the series, apparently his name has stirred up controversy, and we're going to get into everything here. So, Weekly Shonen Jump and the author of the manga, Hero Academia, have issued apologies for the reveal of one character who was named Dr. Maruta Shiga. They were bombarded with complaints that the name was insensitive due to the history of the word Maruta. And so it was publicly stated that the character's name would be changed in response to complaints from social justice warriors. Using the hashtag apologize, Horikoshi, Chinese, Koreans, and some Westerners, oh boy, you know where the key word is there, bombarded Weekly Shonen Jump and author Kohei Horikoshi with demands to apologize for naming the villain Maruta Shiga and to change his name. Now, when you hear the term Westerners in this, you know what this means. It means the Puritans on Twitter, they're the ones who have come out here, and they're the ones who also say, mind you, they live for the double standard because they sit over here and say, respect other cultures, right? They say that, but they never stand by it. Notice they never stand by it because here they are trying to go after Japan because they're insulted by the name Maruta Shiga. And so they're trying to push their colonial beliefs onto Japan. Go figure. So much for respecting one's culture. Oh, man, these Puritans are such hypocrites. So, looking at some of the tweets here.
Google 731 before saying nonsense, you idiots. Maybe you can't afford to take enough education, or you give up yourself because you're too dumb to learn it. Your mom would hang herself when she was pregnant if she saw you so dumb like this. Even someone says it's our Outrage, says it's Japanese comics. We can't comment. Didn't your mother tell you not to comment before you know about the thing? Maybe you don't have a mother or a brain.
So what this person's going on about is this name is actually in reference to something that happened in Japan in World War II. Now, for those of you who don't know, there was human experimentations. These were, obviously not good experimentations at all whatsoever. There were human experimentations that were going on, and it's just something that was bad in Japan's history that happened back during World War II. So, yeah, it wasn't really a good thing in terms of Japanese history. Then, of course, there was a translated tweet here. Many have pointed out that the character name Shiga Maruta in this week's Jump chapter has brought up recollections of acts done in the past. I did not intend for the name to be associated as such. I take this matter very seriously and will change the name. So because of this, because of the Puritans complaining on Twitter over this, because of them being so butthurt, because, they can't ever grow thick skin, yeah, they just completely went on and made the creator change the name. So they censored it, made him change the name over this. This was followed by a separate statement made by the Weekly Shonen Jump on February 3rd, 2020, which was posted on the official Twitter account. And, of course, on the Twitter account, it's all there. And this is the translation stating, "We have received some concern that the character, Shiga Maruta, who appears in the 10th issue of the Shonen Weekly Jump, released on February 3rd, My Hero Academia, has a name that may call actual historical events to mind. Neither the author nor the publisher had that kind of intent when creating the name, but as referring to the actual historical events that are completely unrelated to the character was not our intent. After conferring with the author, we have decided to change the character's name when the manga comes out in the comics. Now, this is what they have to say. Here's a problem with this, though. So, you have these Puritans that are obviously out to do this stuff. Big thing to note. When you bend the knee like this, they're going to expect more. This is one of the biggest problems with the woke crowd, is that they are going to want you to continue, right? So instead of, oh, that's enough for me, oh, no, they feel like they can push more. So now here's the issue. Japan is one of the countries that is very few in terms of entertainment that doesn't have this issue with woke stuff in it. I mean, there was an anime recently that got canceled because of it. It shows you how well that performed, right? But now that you have the Puritans jumping in to try to intrude, this is not going to turn out very well because they're going to expect more and they're going to continue to try to push their way in until they get their way, obviously. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts on the apologize Horikoshi argument. I also have a lot more knowledge on Unit 731 than most fans here probably do. A lot more. This thread may get long, but I want to use Horikoshi's mess to share some history knowledge. Let's all learn from this. First thing I want to say, though, is while people gotta stop telling Koreans and Chinese people how they should feel, second is that the statement Horikoshi released is an apology, the way it's worded in Japanese, but not in translation. I'm not saying anyone has to accept that. Okay, so one important thing to know as this mess is that Japan has not acknowledged a large amount of their World War II crimes. Chinese and Korean comfort women, which led to some forcible, terrible things to happen, who are still alive are fighting for recognition. They deny this offensive thing and Unit 731. So Unit 731 is not really talked about in Japan, so I don't think Horikoshi saying it was coincidence is hard to believe. Japan got off no issue for 731 because America, responsible for post-war cleanup in Japan, pardoned everyone involved so long as they shared research. Now, personally, this is something I actually had never known. I did not do research on this, so I didn't know about this, and I think this would have flown over many people's heads, so I don't think many people would have really understood the name, and of course, they'll leave it to the Puritans to go so far as to try to get this completely censored because they're butthurt over this. What's so ridiculous about it all is that you would think SJWs would want people to be more informed about a little-known event in history that had such a significant cultural impact on Korea and China, but instead they're so short-sighted that they would rather censorship. See, the one thing I've always had an issue with is censorship. Reign supreme in order to bury a tie into actual history in order to sate their fragile feelings. As pointed out by Animatic 811 and Doll Life Dan, it's not a good look for the manga or anime industry when you see Japan bending the knee to Outrage Moss. And this is one of the worst things, because since we're now seeing Japan do this, this just opens more doors to opportunities of this to happen. And this is exactly what they want to happen. They want to make people bend the knee. And this is their way of trying to invest into Japanese culture now and try to make them bend the knee. And I bet, now I don't know this, but I'm just saying, maybe the creator did this because, this is supposed to be an evil doctor and he does experimentations with characters' quirks. This is probably the relation as to why he named the doctor that. But, of course, leave it to the Puritans to have say against that, am I right? Is peak clown world when Twitter mobs now have influence in the anime industry. Weebs better enjoy their hobby while it lasts, because we all know what's coming after this. And that statement couldn't be more true, because we all know that when the Puritans get their way, they will continue. They won't stop. They're like a disease, and they infest anything they touch. To all those who have said the Western woke mobs will never bully manga and anime to their will because Japan doesn't care, may I offer you a black pill? We're going into stage 2 now. See, here's the thing. Even I thought, I'm not going to deny it, even I thought that this wouldn't happen, that there might be a likely chance, but I thought it'd be more so slim. But to see these tweets here, to see this, it shows that Japan is bending the knee. And it's a shame because once it starts, you know what's coming. You know it's going to keep going. And that's one of the biggest problems here. So you have people trying to even come out and say, no, this is wrong. What are you doing? Because they actually got this trending. So that's already the first step. This isn't looking too good if, you have Shonen Jump as well as the creator himself actually coming out and apologizing. It's not good. So you have people who are also trying to, stop this, obviously, trying to argue against it. Apologize, Horikoshi. Koei Horikoshi does not owe any of you entitled Twitter Puritan idiots an apology. It is his story, his character. The man has done nothing wrong. He named his character a name because it fits said character with its story. From us sane people, F off. Now, I agree with that statement. It is his story. And if he wants to name a character, which, by the way, mind you, that name over in Japan is actually a family name, too. So, he has the right to be able to name his characters whatever he wants to name them. And for them to try to censor this, to try to have their way, because, oh no, we can't take anything offensive. Because anything offensive to them, it hurts them. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Here's what I'm going to say. Get over it. Because offensive things have happened in history, and, think about it. People learn from that. That's the point of human history, to learn to better oneself so that they won't repeat it again. But it's like these people are like, oh no, censor it, it's too much. Don't learn from it. Instead, just get rid of it. And then, if you censor it, then of course you're probably going to be doomed to repeat it. Because that's what happens with history. If you do not learn from history, you are doomed to repeat it. That's kind of the big thing here. SGS Ami had to say, while this apologize Horikoshi continues to trend, please remember, Maruta is a common name and not just in Japan, is the history behind name said. Yes, of course, but that is history. There are girls called Annie and boys called a specific World War II villain name. In world today, this does not mean they're evil, and that's true. There are so many names out there, and just because one person at that one time, or maybe an event that they're named after or whatever, that doesn't make the person that is being named that bad. Doesn't mean that at all. And of course, there was more people to respond to even this, saying,
I understand that insulting the victims is not the real intention of Horikoshi. Apologize, Horikoshi, but apology is duty, even if he did not know about the history. Because a mistake that someone makes can also be his fault.
How? How can a mistake that this very person is not involved in, how is it their fault? See, that doesn't make any sense. No, that's not... What? That's not how this works. That would be like saying every crime that humans have ever committed in time, that means that it's everybody's fault, even though they never committed that crime. But because that person's a human, that means that it's all humans' fault, even though they didn't commit that crime. That makes no sense. Are you serious? These people, this is what I'm talking about. This is the insanity here. These people are nuts. They're crazy. And so there are people that still continue to come out against it, obviously. Another person here had to say, Western people, shut the F up. This isn't about you. Stop telling Korean and Chinese people how to feel about this shit. And I agree with that, They need to shut up. I mean, that's the thing about the woke crowd. Shut up, let it go. This is not what it's about. It's not about offending anybody. It's just a name. It's just a name. But these people go way too far overboard rather than to let the creator come up with a name for a character. I mean, if you look at all this stuff, I mean, so many people jumped in on this, and this is what I mean. And now that you see all these people that have gotten this trending, the problem overall is the fact that, well, you got Japan to bend the knee, and they'll probably do it again. That's one of the worst things here, is that they were able to win a round, and now they're going to keep going for more. And we know how this whole thing works. They continue to come back. They won't stop. They won't stop no matter what. And to censor human history, see, that's a big thing here also, because, the name, that would be human history also, because when you think about the events back then in the past, yeah, they were terrible. But you learn from that. You move forward. You learn to never do that again. That's the point of human history. If you were to censor human history, then how do you progress? How does society itself learn to become better than it is currently? It won't become better than the previous generations if they don't have history to learn from in the first place. So by shutting out history, by trying to censor history, then history is just doomed at this point to repeat itself. And that's the big thing here. But it's not just that. It's also the fact that, having Japan bend the knee, this will be the gateway. This is going to be the way that this war with the anime is going to start. I mean, it kind of already has, realistically, if you think about it. And this is not good. And I don't think there was any reason to censor this name at all. And, this is just a problem for Japan now, because this is going to keep happening. And unless they just ignore it and do whatever they want going forward, this will continue to infest anime, and this is not looking good at all. That's a bad sign. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and make sure you are still subscribed, because YouTube is unsubscribing people from their favorite channels. So make sure you are still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like if you enjoyed, and share the video, spread the word, try to get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. It'll also keep you up to date on any videos that'll be coming out in the future, or any upcoming events as well. So the link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.